Okay, and in fact, just to finish up these videos real quick with the one-tailed test examples, because again, you could do a two-tailed test, which just tests for any correlation at all. You can also do a hypothesis test for one-tailed to see more specifically if there's a negative linear correlation, so a left-tailed test, or if there's a positive linear correlation, so a right-tailed test. And for these one-tailed tests, the p-value method can be used as in earlier chapters, which technically you could use critical value method also, but p-value is going to be easier. So I'm going to use the same pirates versus global warming temperatures data from before. And got just a few answers here for the different correlations you could do. And I'll just show you how you can get those answers using one of the Statsmatic applets again. So first I'll just use a test just for just general correlation. So where the alternative hypothesis is rho does not equal 0. Then I'll show you how I get that p-value of 0.003. So I come to that Statsmatic applet. This is the same one where I was using the Pearson global warming data. I come down to the bottom here under perform inference. I want to make sure that's on t-test for slope again. Then change this option over here to beta does not equal 0. Perform inference, and it gets me that p-value of 0.003. So which would tell me that I reject the null hypothesis, and where the null hypothesis was that there's no correlation. And I conclude that there is correlation, and I'm just going ahead and saying that because that could work at either significance level of 0.05 or 0.01. Now I can test for negative correlation also, which, as you may have noticed, is pretty nice and simple in that applet. I just changed this last option here to beta less than 0. Perform inference, and gives me that p-value of 0.001, which is even lower than that 0.003. So again, I reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is a negative correlation, which works at either significance level. In fact, again, this correlation is even stronger than just the general correlation. Then I can also test it with a positive correlation, or for a positive correlation. Just change this to the beta greater than 0, perform inference. It gives a real big p-value this time of 0.999. And so since that would be way bigger than either 0.05 or 0.01, I would fail to reject the null hypothesis of there being no correlation this time and conclude that there is not a positive correlation. So those are some ways you can do either a two-tailed test to test for just general correlation, or either of the one-tailed tests to test for negative or positive correlation. And it just so happens with this case, negative is the best contender. But you can use this for any types of tests. Again, I highly recommend using these Statsmatic applets. It'll make these problems a lot easier.